Hey, hey, hey. It's the Chaos Queen here, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey, it's Mistress Carrie, and you are listening to Studio 2009.
There is nothing wrong with your podcast player. Do not attempt to adjust the volume. Hello and welcome back into our studio. You are now listening to Studio 2009 only on the Geekcast Radio Network. I'm, of course, TFG and Mike. And for our latest Gamer Origins, today I welcome the Red Knight, sometimes known as the Bread Knight, as he has the plates that are up. And his enjoyment of the frustration of the chaos that it takes to when no one agrees on the plan. Man, we're going to take him through his video game playing origins and more. Hello, Red. How are you?
Doing good. I have a lot of video game origin. I go way back, so.
That's right. We old, man. We old. All right. I always say this just because I'm hoping one of these days she's going to actually interrupt me and come in here and say, "Why you say that about me?" But I blame Chaos. She says that this question makes no sense. Why would you ask that question? You wouldn't have the person on the podcast if you had. But did you grow up playing video games, and what were some of your earliest video game memories? The whole point is to get someone's origin. Like, I understand what she's saying about did you grow up playing video games. That's her problem with the question is, what? Of course they grew up playing video games. Why would you have them on the podcast if they didn't grow up playing? I get it. I understand that. But the point is to get the story.
See, what I'm thinking is, you got to wait till like the next April 1st, get somebody on. It's like, hey, did you grow up playing video games?
No.
Nope. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
This, folks, was the podcast.
That's right. One question, one answer, done.
Exactly. But to actually give you an answer, I remember it was a while back, and my dad came through the door holding an orange box, rectangular. It said Atari on it. It was the Atari 2600 system. I, of course, had no idea what it was. And my dad was grinning ear to ear and went to the basement, hooked it up, and that is where I discovered my love of video games.
Very awesome, very awesome. So, Barnstormers.
Yeah. Oh, I even go way further back. Combat Video Olympics.
Yep.
Did you know those cartridges had 2K of memory?
Yes.
Not MB. K.
No. K. Yeah.
Like your average Word document dwarfs it these days.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. Very, very crazy. What video games were you playing the most as a kid? Were you, obviously, you're an Atari gamer, but were you an Atari gamer, an NES gamer, Sega gamer, some other type of game system gamer?
I think, aside from the Atari, which I put like gajillions of hours in because I was young and all, I think the next system that actually took up most of my time was the Super Nintendo. That system had an incredible library.
Yes, it did. Absolutely. What was your favorite Super game?
Honestly, it's what got me into the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy II, which in Japan was 4 because crazy naming conventions.
Yes.
But that one got me into it, and then 3, which was actually 6, really hooked me. And then you throw Chrono Trigger on the end of that, and I was an RPG junkie.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so I technically just asked you that. Damn.
Disqualified question. Ask it anyways. I might have a different answer this time.
What was your number one favorite video game as a kid?
Oh, as a kid? Because I got a couple favorites, but those would have been later in life. Probably Chrono Trigger, actually. But you made me think. There was just something about that one that just... The high adventure, the time travel, the thing was incredibly well written. Now, down the line, I'll probably think about another 10 I like better, but this is my memory at work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have a favorite video game genre type?
And that's a little tougher. I mean, if I had to answer, probably RPG, but I do like survival horror. I do like horror in general, to be honest. Otherwise, oof. As I said, really, really tough. I do enjoy visual novels. I've gotten into those like late in life, but I'm really enjoying those. Other than that, yeah, I tend to go across the board a bit, but I really think those are the big ones.
I know they're usually streaming it when you're at work, but I'm surprised you haven't gotten in with them on the Outlast trials if you like horror, because oh my god,
You,
that game is oh
it looks intense as all get out, but unfortunately, you can only have 4 in it. So
oh yeah
I
that
did not make the cut. But yeah, I actually, it's funny you mention that though because I actually have and reinstalled the original Outlast.
uh-huh.
I picked that up on sale and actually forgot I had it, so I've not put any time into it yet. But it's like Outlast. Yeah, I don't have the Outlast trials. Wait, that came from Outlast and Outlast 2. Wait, I've got Outlast, don't I? So open the old Steam library,
Uh-huh.
unpause, stare at my giant library. It's like, all right, let's go to the search bar. OUTLA. Ah, there it is.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Yep, so I've reinstalled it. Haven't had a chance to dive in yet, but I have reinstalled it.
Yeah, okay, so as we're recording this, folks, we are recording this February 27th, 2025. You're probably going to hear this closer to the end of March 2025. Chaos and Gawky and the rest of them with the people that they play. I think it's Dark and I think Mira. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think so, yeah.
I think they were playing it today. And man, some of I'm not a horror I'm not a horror person in general overall. It's not my favorite. I scare easily. I don't do. It's just not my thing. But some of the language in that game, oh boy, the game that they played today, I was like, wow. And I'm not one to shy away from, and if you need to, if you want to, we are explicit around here. I do put explicit tags so we can say fuck if we want. But I don't shy away from cursing, but I use curse words as sentence enhancers. I don't use it just to use it kind of thing. And some of the cursing in that game, some of the language and some of the things that happened in that game today, I was like, oh my god. How did your gaming habits change as you grew up and throughout your life?
Ooh, that's actually an excellent question. I gotta think on that one for a bit, but I think part of it came down to time and how much time I had left to do like literally anything. So I used to get like more into MMOs, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, and it became tough because like I became a dad. I proud parent of 2 kids, but when you're raising 2 kids, you ain't got as much time for the video games. So
Right, yeah.
and the ones that you had to like dump all the time and effort into just really didn't stick with me. And I noticed one thing that I'm starting to get out of now, but I tended to avoid games that don't have conclusions or real conclusions because it didn't feel like I was spending my time right. Like, for example, games like Civilization, it's like, yes, you can reach the end and win, but you don't really hit an end screen type.
Yeah.
Whereas you get other games where, like, you can get to the end, you can get a game over, here's your credit roll and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I tended to stick to those more because I felt that was more where my time would be better spent. But, I've kind of gotten away from that now and kind of gotten back to a few games like that.
I mean, yeah, like you want to get to the end, save the princess, and hear the credits roll. Now, if you want to have a game, something that is going to have a sequel and is going to leave you on the edge of the cliff and leave you wanting more for the next 2 years and waiting, or, I mean, ideally, if you're going to set up a game franchise like the Red Knight 1 and whatever the Red Knight 1 story is, I'm just using that as an example because heaven forbid I use Super Mario Brothers 3. Super Mario Brothers 3 didn't exactly have a direct sequel. Yeah, it went to Super Mario World because they switched systems. But, there is no Super Mario Brothers 4 technically as far as like a story based on what's next for the Koopa kids.
Well, technically, from what I heard, they're not even the Koopa kids anymore.
Oh, God, really?
They retcon that. You have Bowser Jr., but the rest of the kids, I don't even think Nintendo knows what they are anymore.
See,
so yeah, I kind of arched an eyebrow at that. I'm like, really?
This is why I like staying in the 90s with certain video game franchises. No, Just no.
I'm just expecting next on Maury. Sorry, Bowser, you are the father.
Yeah.
That's just yeah. This is really
Boy.
Nintendo. This is what you decided to spend time and effort on.
Hmm.
But
I don't know.
what can you do?
I
But yeah,
have one.
and that also reminds me of another wonderful craze with the Super Nintendo. I love how every game had to have Super in the name.
Yep.
And Super Mario Super Castlevania.
Yep. The only one that didn't was, well, they actually switched, but the only one that didn't have Super in the name was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Yes,
But
which I always thought was interesting, but
I love, that's my favorite Zelda game.
yeah, I say it actually is mine too. That's
Yeah, like, I've seen all the other ones, and all the other ones are nice. They're cool. They look fun, but
Link to the Past just captured the formula.
yeah,
It really did. It was a
yeah.
step up from the original.
And the original's good too. I mean, the original's great for what it is. Obviously, it started the whole thing and everything else. Without the original, we wouldn't have A Link to the Past. But like you said, it perfected everything at the time.
Yeah. The original one, if you try to go back, it's dated. I mean, it is really
Yeah.
dated. It's a piece of history, but it hasn't aged well.
Yeah, no. Best thing about it is that gold cartridge.
Yep. I mean, that always catches your eye. Even back, especially back when I was a kid, it's like, ooh.
That's right.
But it's gold.
There was a book. You probably have to find it on eBay now. But there was a book that Dark Horse put out a couple of years ago. I wanted to get it so bad. It was a Legend of Zelda anniversary book that looked like the literally looked like the gold cartridge, and it came in the slip cover for it was the Nintendo. It was the black the black with the red. It was the cartridge cover. It was the cartridge case. Oh, it was so I never could get it off of Dark Horse's website because I had too much life stuff going on at the time. So, like I said, now we'll probably have to catch it on eBay or somewhere. But I would have loved to have had that. It would be so cool. The other thing that they did with Super Nintendo, with at least one series I know, instead of just doing Mega Man, they had to do Mega Man X, Mega Man X2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, they finally at least answered the question that Mega Man X is not Mega Man 10.
Yeah, exactly.
But that for the longest while, it's like, is it 10? Is it X?
No, it's X.
Yeah, now it's X.
It's X. I always thought it was X. I never thought it was 10.
I never knew. It was like, yeah. I always joked, it's like, well, we'll find out once we get 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And little did I know that's exactly what happened. Oh, and I will say this, those dust cover things, I was mocked roundly and soundly for keeping all of mine. Like, all of my cartridges stayed in those dust covers and all that. And my games always work perfectly. My friends are like, I don't know why yours works perfectly. Like, I have to blow on mine. It's like, really? You have to blow the dust out of the cartridge that you didn't keep in the dust cover.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
absolutely.
You know, kids.
Absolutely. How often do you go back and play any of the video games you grew up with?
I really don't. Unfortunately, I've still got like so many games lined up that I want to play, but I really don't go back. And it's interesting because I kind of want to, but the biggest thing is like if I can get a remake, like the Silent Hill 2 remake gave me a chance to dive back into Silent Hill 2. Right. I absolutely just loved that remake. I just finished that not too long ago.
Cool.
Other than that, yeah, there's temptation. Now, when I was a kid, like back in the mid to late 90s, I played and replayed Final Fantasy III like 4 or 5 times in a row. But unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do something like that again, sadly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's that whole pesky real life thing.
Yep. Which video games that have released when you were an adult that you've liked the most?
Oh, Silent Hill 2 kind of like skirts the line because that came out like shortly after the launch of the PS2.
Uh-huh.
Kind of the point where I was a young man, but I don't know if I'd be considered, right on the line there. And the remake is fantastic. Other games, I did like Batman Arkham Asylum. That's now, to be fair, I liked the sequels. They were a little more open world, but I actually kind of like the tight narrative of the first one. So, let's see. There's that one. One that surprised me that I just kind of kept an eyeball on, and I threw it on my wish list, and kids picked up for me at Christmas a year or two ago was Slay the Princess,
Oh,
which
interesting.
really I absolutely loved that game, and that's encourage it to everyone. The price isn't that high, and they've released two free updates that have added a ton of content to it. It's amazing. It's even hard to describe the game without giving away what makes it amazing. But it's a visual novel, and the concept is you're in the woods on a path leading to a cottage. In the basement of that cottage is a princess. You have to kill her, or the world will end.
Oh, wow.
But that's all the information you're given by the narrator. And of course, you're going to have questions.
Yeah.
And I have to recommend it. I can't recommend it enough, but I can't say any more about what makes it amazing.
Yeah,
So
because
I
you don't
kind of
want to
gotta,
spoil it. Yeah.
yeah, but it's one of those games though that you really can't give away the hook without. Other than that, I love the Dark Souls series. The trilogy is just amazing. I love the lore behind it, and everybody keeps talking about Dark Souls difficulty. Oh, it's hard, it's hard, it's outrageous, it's hard, it's hard. It's like, yeah, but what it really is remember the old NES days?
Yep.
Like you'd play Castlevania, you'd get to like Dracula, you'd get your butt kicked, and then you'd go back to like the beginning of the stage and have to fight through some stuff just to get to the rematch. That's Dark Souls difficulty. Compared to other modern things, yeah, it's tough. But it's not unfair. It's not unforgiving. You just have to learn. Like, even the basic enemies will absolutely kick your butt if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And that's where the difficulty came in. So once I got that in my head, and it's like, okay, I need to go back to old school mindset, then I really dove in and just enjoyed them. Let's see, what else did I play? I did like the Doom remake, rip and tear till it's all done, or rip
Yep.
and tear till it's done. Quite enjoyed that one. Didn't like Derm, didn't like Doom Eternal as much. I'll
Yeah.
admit. I just thought it got a little like goofier than the
Right.
previous one. Let's see what else. I did like It Takes Two. I really
Mm-hmm.
did enjoy that. Let's see what else did I poke around with. Again, I know I'm going to forget like 10 things. Oh, Telltale Games The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
but season 1.
Okay.
Season 2 was meh, and I own the other 2 seasons and just haven't got around to playing them.
Yeah.
But the story, the characters, like the lead character from season 1 is like one of the best protagonists, period, in a game. So, but that's another one I enjoyed. I
Very
also
cool.
liked Sucker for Love, which is a eldritch horror dating sim.
Okay. That's interesting.
It is. It really.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's all of them. I'll probably remember more, but
I think
we
the
don't want
only
this to
one.
be. It's like hour 3. Oh yeah, there's also.
Well,
Hey, later. Great. Yeah.
I think
Great.
the only one
And
you didn't mention is the best one.
which one?
It's the restaurant, man. It's the
Oh, geez.
restaurant.
Yeah. Played up. Oh my goodness. I told you I'd forget one. I knew I would forget
Oh man, I love
one.
that game. That game is hilarious.
It is. It's just fun. You get into a rhythm and then you just try to hold on. Everything
You,
else goes wrong.
you hold on for dear life
Yeah.
until
It's
your
like,
partner ends up doing something that she shouldn't have done.
yeah, it's like, oh, what's the next twist? Oh, great. Now we have to
What's
deal with this. Okay.
what's the next twist? Chaos set the kitchen on fire.
Uh-oh. Ew.
What? Oh,
Nothing.
Now
Nothing.
you're concerning me.
Nothing happened.
That's usually what reaction we get before the smoke alarm goes off.
No.
It's just a little fire. Your tables are burning. It's fine. It'll be fine.
My biscuits are burning. My biscuits are burning. It'll be fine.
More than the biscuits are burning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I still remember the one game where we lost because a customer got lit on fire. But
Oh, wait. When did that happen?
it was the Halloween event where we got we pulled the card where it's like things just started randomly getting set on fire.
Oh, my God.
And that included, unfortunately, the table that a customer was sitting at, and we didn't get to it fast enough, and then the customer got lit on fire, and then we got a game over real quick. It's like, customer comes in, gets lit on fire, all of a sudden we get a 1-star Yelp, blah, 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 burning skin, blah, blah, pain, blah, blah,
All the good stuff at a plate up. That's right.
We offered him a free meal.
Yep.
There shouldn't be any complaints.
No, shouldn't be. All right. Now, we generally don't like to talk about hate, but there's a lot of hate in the video game world, and the question reads, are there any video games that you hate or have been greatly disappointed by?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough one. Which ones did I not find fun is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't know about hated. I'm still trying to think on that, but like everybody out there loves Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and I just could not get into it.
Okay.
I tried a couple times on that one and just really didn't. What else we playing around with here? Oh yeah, the Total War series. I didn't hate it. I just, so much as I just really couldn't get into it. Everybody's like, the series is amazing. It's this, that, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here. I'm certain there are other ones, but
if you don't have them, you don't have them. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. I may remember like by the end of it, but I don't know. I'm really trying to think because I don't think there's anything I really hated. I think I've met out of a good chunk of them, but
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I am sure something will come to me in time, but
no problem. All right. Who is your end-all, be-all favorite character from any video game? You can pick a hero and a villain.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, like I said, there's a strong case for Lee from The Walking Dead Season 1. I mean, this is just a guy that was thrown in a horrible situation, and he's not this perfect angel. He's not, like, he's got his own demons, but he's just there that he ain't going to be taking any crap. So there's that. The villains. There is one character in Final Fantasy XIV. It's going to drive me nuts, but basically it was a side story of all things. And this guy was an absolute monster. Now, Final Fantasy XIV does a good job of blurring the lines, like to the point where you're a number of your villains, you can either see their motives, or in some cases they're even noble, but you're on the wrong side.
Right.
Not this one. This guy was a monster.
Okay.
This guy had envy of another Imperial commander, and why does this guy get all the glory and recognition? And he tries to emulate it, but he doesn't get it, so he's just like a monster. And there's one part where, just to give you an idea, that one of his agents failed, and he's standing there getting berated, and then this guy actually has children in his room taking hot pieces of metal, and the guy's like, it's like, you're going to help daddy out. Now chant, burn out the bad. And these kids are visibly uncomfortable. And then the camera cuts away and you hear screams, and it's just like, this guy just so much needs to be punched in the face. It's one of those rare times where I'm just watching like, I'm ending you. So I think he is probably one of the most despicable villains I've come across.
Dang.
And that, yeah, it. Oof. But as far as good guys go, yeah, again, I could probably think of others, but Lee, just the crap he had to go through and remain who he was.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. That he was strong. He stuck up. There was a girl he finds early on,
Mm-hmm.
and he becomes her protector. But even that, without even trying, he kind of becomes the de facto leader of the group because he knows how to, like, just talk with people and all that. Everybody trusts him and not everyone else. But yeah, I would say Lee. That's, again, ask me later. I'll probably come up with 10 other answers. But yeah, Lee and Valens from 14 is the hero and villain.
Very cool, very cool. Who are some of your other favorite video game characters that you like?
Ooh, I like James from Silent Hill 2. I can't say much without giving it away, but he is such a deep character. And as you play through the game, you get to learn more and more about him. And it's just layers upon layers. And when you get to the end and you realize everything that's happened, just psychologically, there is a depth to him that is amazing. Other than that, I'm trying to think. The protagonist and I don't even let me put it this way: your character and the princess from Slay the Princess,
Okay.
are both amazing characters when you get to learn more about them, and the voice actors nail it in that one. Other than that, I do like Batman from the Arkham series because I think Kevin Conroy played an amazing, nuanced Batman, and likewise, Mark Hamill's Joker is still fantastic. And in the Arkham games, they weren't held back as much as they were on the TV show.
Yeah.
So they were able to more just cut loose, and it showed.
Did you ever see the video game awards where Mark voices the Joker at the awards ceremony?
No, I hadn't seen that. I
Oh
gotta
my
look that
God.
up later.
No. I've got the audio. I can send you the audio if you don't want to look it up, but I'll put the audio in the podcast somewhere. But
Nice of you to say, but you of all people should know. There's plenty wrong with me. The love of...
Sorry, sweetie. We can get another, right?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to win one of these things? Who do I have to kill to get an award around here?
he does. It's him. It's Mark Hamill, and it's Tara Strong who does Harley from the games.
Right.
And it's one. They're doing various introductions, and there's one where he accepts the award, and there's one where they give a teaser of what the next Arkham game, because I think it was the one where City had already come out.
Right.
And they were going to do Arkham World next. But it was... So I have the audio from that where... And I can't. I'm no Mark Hamill, folks. Everybody knows I'm no Mark Hamill. I'll put the audio in here somewhere. But he goes, whoops, spoilers. And, oh, God. As soon as I saw that online, as soon as I actually watched it on TV and I found it online later, I've had that audio for years. I use that every time we need a spoiler warning on the podcast network. I use it all. Whoops, spoilers. Oh, God, I love it so much. Thank God to do...
Yeah, it just amazed me. Like, the way he did his Joker, he could slip from, like, laughing mania to, like, dark sinister and back again in the same sentence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what always impressed me. Like, his range on that was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And it's funny too when you have like Tara Strong doing the voice of Harley from the second game onward.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, here we go. Luke Skywalker is the villain, and what was it? Twilight Sparkle is his love interest. But
Thank you for using the pony and not the little girl that's a superhero. It would have been a little bit more creepy if you used Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
yes, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot creepy.
Yeah, a lot more creepy. And the funny thing is, listeners, I know y'all already know this. Anyone that's listened to Studio 2009 or anyone that's listened to the Geekcast Radio Network for the last 15 and a half, 16, 17 years, however the hell long it's been, but I have to tell him this story. So, I think it was 2010, 2011. I don't know. It was right before Arkham City came out. We got the chance to interview Maurice LaMarche. Obviously, Maurice LaMarche, the brain from Animaniacs. Maurice LaMarche did a whole bunch of voices over the years, done a whole bunch of stuff. Amazing work. Love the man to death. We have a question for all of our voice actor interviews. What is your favorite type of voice acting to do? Whether it's narration, animation, video, like we list every type of voice acting, and narration or video games is one of the things that we list. And without provocation, he says, "Oh, the funny thing about video games is it's just you in a room by yourself, doing the lines."
Right.
And he goes, "I just came out of, literally right before you called me, I just came out of a video game voice session." He goes, he said, "I just came out of a video game voice session for Batman Arkham City. I was voicing Mr. Freeze." Before my buddy Optimus Solo and I could pick our jaws up off the floor. Literally, what I'm doing right now is what I was doing back in 2011. My next line, he didn't provoke this or anything. Can you give us a sample of the voice? He goes, "Sorry, no, NDA, all that." I said, "Okay, fine, no worries." So we moved on with the interview, but you can if you listen to that interview, you can clearly hear our shock. Because we didn't realize he was going to say that. We weren't fishing for it or anything. It was just whatever,
Yes.
So I have never edited a podcast so fast in my entire life. My entire 16, now in 2025, my entire 16, almost 17 years of podcasting, never edited an episode so fast in my entire life. Got it online. Didn't even really, I promoted it, but I hadn't really fully promoted it yet. I just left it on the website, and once it goes on the website, it goes to all the podcatchers and all the places that you can get podcasts. And I went out grocery shopping with my mom at the time, and I didn't even think about it. Some unknown website picked it up. Didn't know what the unknown website was, because it was an unknown. It was kind of like, "We got this covered." You ain't got nothing covered. We got this. I hate "we got this covered." Thank God they disappeared, because they never had anything covered. They always covered factually inaccurate. Talk about fake news. Anyway, so some unknown website grabbed it, and then IGN picked it up, and it went gangbusters. Steve Megatron's calling me and texting me and twittering me and DMing me on Twitter, Facebooking. We didn't have Instagram back then, but like everything, like, "What did you do? What did you," like every "what did you do" got louder and louder and louder. I'm like, "I don't know, what are you talking about?" He goes, why are we getting all this traffic? Why are we getting all these questions? What? I said, "I don't know. I just edited the Maurice LaMarche interview and put it online." "What's in the interview?" "I don't know. Questions." "I don't know. We just asked him questions." So Maurice LaMarche is the reason why at the end of every interview I ask any celebrity guest that we have on, "Is there anything that you've said in the interview that we've just recorded that you want me to excise? Is there anything that you've said that you do not want the public to hear? Have you accidentally said something that you don't want getting out?" I will edit it, because I edit the podcast anyway. Right. So you let me know, because heaven forbid,
Right.
So I'm sitting here emailing Mr. LaMarche's manager. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I actually messaged him on Facebook and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." He goes, "Well, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's out there." We had over, I'm probably exaggerating, but we had probably over 50,000 hits just off that one answer at that time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, yeah, you can edit in that, but like he said it and he didn't ask you to unsay it.
Yeah, no, we didn't ask him whether there was anything. That's why I ask now. Why I've always asked now. All right, where are we here?
We're on the interwebs.
Yeah, I know, right? All of this is in the recesses of your mind. We're in your ear holes, ladies and gentlemen.
I apologize in advance.
Yes, exactly.
It's a scary and silly place.
Yes, it's all his fault. Blame him. Bread Knight. Don't forget the Bread Knight.
That's right. I'll get these delivered out as quick as I can. I am the Bread Knight.
Bread.
You did the conveyor belts with
You are
your...
the toaster that pops in the night. Oh my God, no! Y'all got me
Understood
doing
that
this
reference.
stupid shit.
I understood that reference. Oh, guess I gotta do dishes.
Did you ever own anything based on a video game? Toys, comic books, coloring books, posters, art prints, etc., etc.
Trying to think. There's probably more, but one I remember is there was a set of like 4 little Final Fantasy VII figurines. Like back in the PlayStation 1 era, the characters looked all blocky and that, and the figures were exactly that.
Yeah.
They were blocky. I have no idea what even happened to them, but I had those. Trying to think. I'm not as big. Like, if there's merch that comes in like a collector's edition type thing, I might have it, but I don't tend to go out of my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those figures. Yeah, that's really all I can remember right now. Like, I mean, if I had the cash, it would be a different story because I've seen some pretty sick, like, Pyramid Head figures from Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Like, but, the ones, it's only $200. Yes, only $200.
Yep.
As long as I cut non-essentials like food.
I remember when I saw Chaos. Where's Claptrap from? Claptrap's from Halo?
Might be. I was never big on the Halo series.
Yeah, fine. I'm just trying to remember where. No, he's from Borderlands.
Borderlands. Yeah, I was supposed to
Borderlands. Yeah, it's Borderlands. I'm so sorry. So sorry, Borderlands. So sorry.
Yeah, failed the test.
Yes, I know. I'm not a gamer. When Chaos said she liked Claptrap, I immediately went out and searched every Funko Pop version of Claptrap. I didn't buy it for her, but I went and searched for all of them.
Okay, can I just get this off my chest?
Sure.
It's becoming alarming, the sheer number of Funko Pops. Like, to the point where I'm expecting to see, like, in the next series, me somewhere, somehow, for some reason. Just because of everything else they've done. It's like they're gonna run out of
No.
people and franchises. There's about 1 million of those things right now.
Well, they're not going to run out. They're currently doing the 80s retro thing. They're releasing new Breakfast Club Funko Pops for the 40th anniversary of Breakfast Club. They just released new Transformers Pops for Hot Rod with Matrix, Cyclonus. And actually, if you want to, it's completely up to you. You can actually go onto Funko's website and pop yourself.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying.
No. It's cool. It's fun. It's interesting. So they have all these options. They have the beards. They have the eyes. They have the this. They have the that. They have the certain body morphia, whatever. They have the body molds. This used to be a thing where you would actually have to go to either Everett, Washington, or Hollywood stores, the two physical stores, to do this, but they actually they put it online for people to be able to do it a couple of years ago. So you can actually go onto Funko.com right now, and you can have the Red Knight Funko Pop if you would like one. I think
I
it's
could
like
go on there right now, but I kind
$25.
of have to bail. I'd have to kind of bail
Okay,
on the
yeah,
whole
no,
podcast thing.
I know that, but I'm saying
Come on,
at
you can't leave me an opening like that. You know better.
yeah. I'm not saying go right now. I'm just saying for $25, you too can be a Funko Pop plus shipping. I think. I think that's what it is. Anyway, even though we can't use music in podcasts anymore, folks, unless we actually own the copyright, but we don't. What is your favorite video game theme song?
Oh God! Now, if you want to talk about like how many products do you own based off of video game franchises, et cetera, I can be like, eh. But if you ask me the video game music I have, oh dear God, that's a loaded question. Holy crap! Let me think here, because like a lot of the Final Fantasy themes I like. Final Fantasy 14 actually has a world record for the amount of music in a single video game. Because every time they release a patch, every new dungeon has a new theme, plus every new raid has a couple new themes. So I could just pick that if I wanted to. But I'll dodge that. It all depends what music I'm looking for. Like Silent Hill 2 actually, with Theme Alora, is actually really good, which you don't expect to hear that. It's like, yeah, Silent Hill has good music. Like, actually, yes. Slay the Princess I could throw out there because it has a main theme, and then it plays off of variants and motifs of that theme. So that one's really good. God, what all do I say? Like, I could even look on my phone and probably pull out like 20 of them. Anything out of the Nier series, Replicant or Automata, is just outright phenomenal. Oh God, yeah. Like I said, that's the question that could keep me here another hour or two. But I think I'll throw those few out for now. And oh God, yeah. Like I said, all genres, all that. I've got a ton of video game music across the board. It just is amazing.
That's awesome.
Let me throw out one that most people wouldn't even realize or might not think of, and I will say it, and all y'all must YouTube it. The theme to Broforce, which in and of itself is another amazing game. Broforce, up to 4 people. It's pixel art, run and gun, side scroller.
Okay.
With realistic physics. In other words, like you can blow walls up and crap, and things will fall. Now, imagine that with 4 people, the amount of oh dear God and laughing and oh God, why? Why did you?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
The game itself, you play as it starts with a small number, but then you can unlock more as you play. Basically, all variants of 80s movies or 80s action movie stars with bro attached to their name somewhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like you have Rambro.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, all and they got like about 20 or 30 of them by the time you finish unlocking everything. And like I said, you get 4 people in there. It's just absolutely crazy fun. Recommend it to everyone, but I digress. The theme song, variants of which play throughout the game, will get your adrenaline pumping.
That's awesome.
I mean, that game is hardcore America.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'll throw that theme out there as one that people might not have expected.
There you go. Very cool, very cool. All right, so I'm going to word this 2 ways.
Uh-oh.
Because there are 2 answers because yeah. How big is your physical and digital video game collections?
Ooh. Really not a lot of physical anymore. I do have a bag of old stuff, but I don't even have an optical drive on my computer. And I don't have a console, believe it or not.
What?
Yes, I know. Outrageous. The last console I even played was a Switch, but I myself don't know when. The last video game console I owned was a PS2.
Really?
Yeah, and that was for 2 reasons. I worked at CompUSA at the time, doing PC repair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you worked at CompUSA, you could get things at cost.
Yep.
So I could get the PS2 at cost, and on top of that, we didn't have a DVD player at home.
Right.
And
Doubles
the
as,
PS2 doubled as, so I was able to talk my ex-wife into, well, if we buy it, it also does this.
Yep.
So I managed to grab that, but after that, I really haven't gotten a console since. I've been more kind of a PC guy.
Yep. The only one that I have is the SNES Classic.
Ah, yes. Now, as far as digital library, yeah. It's not my fault Steam puts stuff on sale.
Uh-huh.
It isn't. Or you get like the packets from a Humble Bundle. It's like, here's one game you want and 50 you don't, but it's only like $1.
Right, yeah.
Like, give it to me. Bring it on.
I'll buy that for $1.
The number of games, like Steam, I love how Steam even shames you over it. It's like, you haven't tried these yet. Uh-huh. These are in your library. They're just sitting here. You haven't. It's a category of you haven't tried these yet.
Oh my God.
And it's like, there's like 100 games on the list. It's like, I know. It's my secret shame to bear. But I know I'm not the only one.
So basically, Steam says, yes, there is shame in your games.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Do you remember me? You haven't even... Please, it's cold. Can I be installed?
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Like, no. Wait. Back to the depths of the library tab for you.
Yes, exactly. We have a tab of games that I will never play again.
Or ever.
Or ever. Which game or games had the biggest impact on your life?
Ooh, good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the perfect time to tell you a cute story.
Okay.
From when I was a kid. And it did impact my life. Probably not the way you're thinking. But I remember playing Atari. I remember I was a wee lad at the time. And my dad found me just upset. I was just like, not quite in tears. And he's like, what's wrong? And I paused for a second, trying to think of the best way to express my pain and torment and sorrow. And I said, they're never going to come out with Space Invaders on the Atari. Now, I know right now you and everyone listening are arcing their eyebrows, just as my dad did. And you could tell there was for a minute he was trying to process what would lead me to this conclusion. And he couldn't think of it. And he's like, well, why do you say that? I go, the name's too big. It won't fit on the side of the box.
Ow.
The concept of using a smaller font hadn't occurred to me at that age.
How old were you?
Oh, probably like 6 or 7, something like that. But now, much to my surprise, there was an Atari version of Space Invaders in a blue box, and they used the smaller font, and it blew my mind. But yeah, so I learned about scalable fonts at that point. But for a more serious answer, I guess a lot of them are the ones that forced me to rethink how things can be done. Okay. Like the narrative behind Slay the Princess, where it's like, this much I can tell is, at the beginning, the information you're getting seems sketchy, and as you're playing through, you hit points where you're like, I don't know who to trust, if anyone. And it turned the whole, here's the start of the game, you have a quest to slay the big bad evil, go for it, have fun. And it makes you think, it's like, okay, wait a minute, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? So there was that. Nier Automata forced me to rethink how video games themselves can work, because of the way... Anybody that knows that when you beat the game, you have a save file, and when you restart it, it continues through another part of the game. There's you actually have to, quote, beat, unquote, the game multiple times to get the full story. But again, the storytelling and the commentary, I think a lot of it's just been, I've been surprised at what you can do in the medium of video games. And still constantly surprised, because Slay the Princess is only like a year or two old. So I'm still being surprised at how video games can be used for more than just a simple go save the princess. You know, our princess is in another castle. Well, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Why am I going to these other castles? Sorry, I digress, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's you can do a lot with video games that, like, compared to like when you go back to the old Atari days and that, yeah, they were games, but now, I mean, there's a lot you can do with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a my parents wouldn't let me play that video game story?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I'm trying to think. Actually, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
my parents trusted me enough that they let me decide what I wanted to play. I'm just trying to think if they ever objected to anything, but no, believe it or not, I can't think of a single thing. Now, obviously, like when I was younger and that, the computer was in public view and all, and the Atari was in public view and all that, so I couldn't exactly go nuts with it, but, and they were free to look at what I was doing at any given point, but
Yeah.
yeah, but no, there was no restriction there.
Yeah, that question comes from a different origins. It was more of it comes from the toy collecting one where my parents wouldn't let me have that toy. Like my parents wouldn't let me have the toy Tommy gun, or my parents wouldn't let me have the toy squirt gun, or my parents wouldn't let me have the toy disc shooting gun. Not
Oh, I remember
necessarily.
those.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I get it, and
Yeah, but
I
like
think
it's one of those. Go ahead.
I sorry. I think in that regard, it's like I did. It wasn't me myself, but I did see like where I had a friend, and it's interesting to see the change in times. That my friend had parents that like got in on the whole Dungeons and Dragons is evil thing,
Mm-hmm.
and actually like burned all of his stuff. And I
Oh
think
god.
about that, and I think nowadays, and this goes for video games in that too,
Yeah.
in that you look at something like that, like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons, it's the devil's work and this and that. And then nowadays, it's like you have Dungeons and Dragons on YouTube.
Yep.
There was a big Times Magazine thing that I saw in Walmart about Dungeons and Dragons with a big old 20-sided die on the front cover. And it's just, yeah, things have changed a lot
Oh yeah. In the
from
last
where they
40
used to be.
plus years. Yep. In the last
And
40 years.
we get games here that, you know, we wouldn't have gotten before. My favorite bit of censorship while we're on the subject for video
Mm-hmm.
games, Final Fantasy 2/4, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
There is a scene where one of the characters is threatened, and there's this big scythe blade overhead. Now remember, this is pixel art,
Yep.
and there's this cutting blade that's hanging over the character's head. Now, obviously, they don't get their head lobbed off, but it's like, oh my god, we can't have, when we make this for the U.S., we can't have this. We can't show U.S. audiences this. My god, it's a blade. So what they did is they swapped it out with a rock, a giant boulder. Because yes, having a giant rock drop on your head is far less grim than having your neck chopped. You know?
All as I can hear in my head is Killer Croc from Batman the Animated Series. The episode almost got him.
Yep.
I threw a rock at him.
It was a big rock.
It was a big rock. That's
Yeah,
how we knew. That's how we knew Batman dressed up as Croc to take down the villains.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I absolutely love that series.
Yep. Absolutely. What is your opinion of video game reboots, and which ones do you think have had the most success? Have been the most successful?
Ooh, reboots bother me for the most part. Like, I really enjoyed the Silent Hill 2 remake because they like added more to it. It wasn't just a straight 1-to-1, but sometimes you just get lazy. Like,
Yeah.
I think the biggest disaster was Warcraft 3 Reforged for a multitude of reasons. They promised it's like, oh, all new cutscenes and this and that, and it launched and there were all new cutscenes and there were performance issues. There was a ton of stuff wrong with it. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm still getting nostalgic. I'm sure they'll work out the bugs. So I'll just go play my old copy until they fix it. Oh,
Yeah.
will you now? Except we helpfully uninstalled your old version and replaced it with Reforged. You're welcome.
I hate when they do that.
And I say, I honestly wish I was joking.
Yeah, I hate when
That
they do
or
that.
remaking like recent stuff. Like Silent Hill 2 is dated. The graphics are dated and all that. Like Resident Evil, the original one, it was dated, so make a remake. But now you got like games that just came out like a generation ago.
Yeah.
And they're like already trying to remake them. It's like, no, why? Is what you're doing really that much better than what you had? Really?
Yeah.
Could these resources be spent on something else?
They could, but why would they dare do that?
Yeah, not when it's easier to make money the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my rant right there. That's the direct answer to your question. If there's nothing to be gained from remaking it except a little bit of high fidelity on a game that really hasn't aged, why are you bothering? I mean, I know it's for money. I know the answer to my question, but really, that's part of what bothers me. Any resource used to remake a game is resources that could be used to make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
But the games industry is not going to be all about making new stuff because that's taking a chance.
Yep.
It's a lot easier just to redo the old stuff and recycle.
Yep.
We're saving the planet, right?
Tried telling the ET cartridge buried out in the desert.
I owned that thing. I owned that. Listen, kids, as Grandpa regales you with the story of the bug-ridden mess. That was E.T. Okay, I was like, oh, it's an urban legend. It's an urban legend. Then they actually found it.
Yep, they found it.
And like, it's not an urban legend. They tried to bury them along with their shame.
Yep, absolutely. Which video game series from the past would you most want to see more of, whether it be a reboot, a live-action movie, or any other form of media? So,
I might
good.
Yeah, I might think of others, but Chrono Trigger. I have no idea why that series didn't continue. You had Chrono Trigger and then Chrono Cross on the PlayStation 2, and then nothing.
Yeah.
It just dropped off the face of the earth, and I don't understand that. Up until recently, I would have said Metroid, because that one just kind of drifted off into the abyss for a while. That one's finally coming back.
Well, it's Nintendo, so what do you expect?
Well, no, they got embarrassed. There's a fan project out there now. You kind of have to hunt for a little because it's not a pirate or that, but it got a takedown order on it where they spent like 10 years remaking Metroid 2 in the style of Metroid Zero Mission.
Oh, nice.
And they released it and immediately got the takedown order on it.
Yep.
AM2R, but it's amazing because a short while after that, Nintendo's like, yeah, we're remaking Metroid 2. Yeah, on the DS. Yeah, this has been our plan all along. Yeah, it's like
the DS. Ugh.
It's like you saw how popular the game was. You saw how much people wanted this, and then you nuked it, and then you quote came up with your own.
They did.
Yeah, I'm sure they had that in the works the whole time. But that aside, let me think. Like I said, Chrono Series would be one. I mean, let's hit the obvious. Half-Life.
Okay.
I mean, that just, it's obvious, but it is relevant. I'm trying to think of what else out there has sequels that... Oh, I would love to see a Fallout New Vegas too.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically the Fallout series is continuing, but not the New Vegas flavor.
Right.
Beyond that, I would have said Alan Wake, but 2 just came out. Actually, I'll come up with another one. I think it is still in the works, but if you ever remember, and this is like early 90s, Star Control 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was 3 that was terrible and not made by the same people, and then dead, but they are working on a sequel. But yeah, and if you're ever curious to dabble a bit in history, some people made a fan project where they remade Star Control 2, and like you had like an in-game map and all that, and it actually received the blessing of the original developer, and you can now get it directly off Steam
Oh, very cool.
as the Urquan Masters. So yeah, they liked it, and instead of like DCMA, or Strike Down or that, they're like, yeah, you know what, that's cool. That might drum up some interest for the sequel. So yeah, throw it on Steam for free.
There you go.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's another series. Like I said, it's supposed to be coming, but like StarCon 3 doesn't count because it was terrible and not made by the same people.
Right.
Which is another gripe of mine. Great series being annihilated because they give it to a different studio. And actually, that would be another answer for me too. That would be Flat Out. Because that got given to a different company and then ran into the ground too. But
very cool, very cool. What is your opinion of the video game sidekick examples? But these aren't exactly limited to actually being sidekicks, because some people think of at least the first two of more of main characters as well. But Luigi, Tails, Clank, etc.
Well, that's right. I can give you a few different answers. First of all, I was the kid that always played Luigi.
Okay.
Because I felt bad that Luigi just didn't get any credit. I mean, we're the Super Mario Brothers. No, you're Mario. I'm Luigi. Give me some credit. And I actually joked with my kids at one point that, I'm just waiting for the game where Luigi just snaps and becomes the villain. Just snaps.
Yep.
The poor guy gets, like, no props whatsoever.
That's what I thought Luigi's Mansion was going to be.
Yeah. Just, like, he deserves it. Like, I'm just waiting for him to just become like a villain at some point. Steal the princess, all that. That aside, it depends on how well the character is written, and I mean that in two different ways. One story-wise and one AI. Like, when I mentioned Lee from The Walking Dead Season 1, and how he found a young girl like near the start of the game.
Yeah.
Clementine as a character is amazing. So, done that way, it's done right. Escort missions always make me cringe because it comes down to the AI. It's like, oh, you need to protect this person that's just blissfully wandered into the mob of bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I have to save them? Do I really?
Yeah.
Because it's tempting right now to say, oops, I guess I didn't see them. But yeah, it depends on the character. It depends on whether they belong there. Like sidekicks written in for the sake of sidekicks. Like, hi, I'm here to draw in the teen crowd. Go away.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Luigi, Tails, and Clank, even though they are examples of sidekicks, those three characters really aren't true. Like, this question essentially comes from the Cartoon Origins episodes, so we have another set of 30 questions about cartoon watching. And that one comes where the examples are Scott and T-Bob from Mask. T-Bob is not exactly a great sidekick. Snarf from Thundercats. Snarf is not Snarf.
Snarf was the Gilligan of Thundercats.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to be on that series, I'll definitely have you back for that series because those are fun. But that's essentially where basically the origins are copy paste and apply to whatever, like video games, comics, cartoons, toy collecting, whatever. And I try to copy. We're gonna start TV or watching Origin, live action TV show watching Origins later this year.
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask the question, just in case
absolutely.
You can get an answer. So, I mean, exactly. It works. That the worst they can go is like, what do you mean sidekicks? Oh, well,
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, you could tell the sidekick or basically the plot device. Let's call them what they are.
Yeah, true.
It's like, oh, here's this mystical artifact that's glowing with evil energy. I want to touch it.
Don't touch it. It's kind of like a buddy of mine, voice actor Josh Keaton. I'm sure I don't know how well versed you are in voice actors, but Josh Keaton did the voice of Spider-Man a few times. Yeah. He's done a bunch of other things. One of his demo reels, he does this. I forget what it was for, but it was for some cartoon where he's like really thick New York, and you should know obviously because New York, but really thick New York accent. Nuts, nuts, nuts! Hey, get your hands off my nuts! Like, I've got that clip. I'll put that clip in here somewhere. But it's just one of those things where it was just hilarious.
Where are my clothes? Nuts! Nuts! Get your nuts! We got all kinds of nuts. Brazil nuts, walnuts. Get your hands off my nuts.
In your opinion, which decade represents the golden era of video games and why? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, or 2020s?
Oh, that is a brutal one.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking like the NES and SNES would definitely be a candidate.
Oh.
And then, like, what would it be? The 2010s, maybe? Without being able to use years, I'd more say like the NES, SNES era. And then when Steam first hit and you started getting a flood of original, creative, independent games where you weren't getting things that were, copy-pasted, cookie-cuttered, reiterated a year later type games. You got creative crap. That and, it would be around the NES time as well. I had a Commodore 64, and some of the original stuff you could get for like $5-10, the budget line type thing. It wasn't the greatest thing, but they got creative. And I have to do it. I'm sorry, you directed me to it. I have to say it. I remember, yes, I can shake a stick and say, in my day, but I remember on the Commodore 64 when Electronic Arts was the pinnacle of quality. Like, they had the most original games. Like, one of their only rules is they couldn't copy anything else, and the only sequels they could make were, like, sequels of their own games. Mm-hmm. And that led to some of the most creative games, some of the most impressive stay with you forever type games. For example, like Wasteland, which is the precursor to Fallout. Mm-hmm. Games like that, and it's like they really like Anakin Vadered hard over the years.
It's funny you say it that way, considering Revenge of the Sith is 20 years old this year.
Yep. But yeah, it's just like I said, it used to be like the pinnacle of quality, and now it's EA.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because, you're mentioning the SNES era and all that. That was 90s. And then the Steam era, I did not know that Steam launched September 12th, 2003. 22 years ago. Almost 22 years ago. It's 21 currently until September. But, 22 years ago, Steam launched.
Yeah, that was fun too. I was like, I just want to play Half-Life 2. What the hell is this Steam crap?
I know, right?
I have to be online? What is it? This is a waste. This is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. That's a prediction that went right up there with my prediction of Power Rangers. This is like a live-action Voltron ripoff. This isn't even going to last more than a season.
Uh-huh.
Swear to God, I admit. I will admit.
Yep. 30 years later.
Yep. They're running out of animal species and folklore to mimic. It's like we've got raptors, we've got ninjas, I've got kids. I know a chunk of these.
Yep. Well, when they ran out of animals, they just added vehicles. It was, Fast and the Furious meets Power Rangers.
Exactly.
As gaming has evolved, what has been your greatest likes and dislikes in the video game industry?
Well, dislikes is definitely the lack of originality and sheer recycling.
Yes,
and it's like it's. I will offer Exhibit A, Madden.
Okay, outside of EA needing to make money, the dude, unfortunately, is dead.
Yeah, it's like
I hate to even say this. I don't even want to bring the dude's name. Can't they do like a Mahomes 2025 or something? Like,
I'm going to ignore the fact that you brought that name.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I know Madden's a household name, but the dude is dead, and EA is just
Yeah, it's appropriate because they keep trotting out the same dead product year after year, and the only reason it sells is because they bought the license for the NFL.
My God.
Otherwise, the game is awful.
Same dead product year after year. Jesus Christ. And it's funny because I only follow certain things on Instagram, certain NFL things on Instagram,
Yeah.
and because as mentioned earlier in the podcast, I am a born and bred Bostonian, Massachusetts person, whatever, and I don't care if the team is winning or losing. I bleed Patriots. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who the linebackers are. I don't care who the wide receivers are. I follow the team, whoever's on the team. We had 20 great years. Amazing, fine, whatever. We had 40 horrible years before that. It is what it is.
I remember pitying
Yes,
a Patriots fan.
yes,
Like
yes,
my
yes.
dad got a season tickets when we moved
Oh,
back up
jeez.
for the Bills, and this was the Super Bowl era, and
Yep.
New England was 2 wins on the schedule, and I was at the game, and Buffalo was just like just rolling them. And some drunken Patriots fan behind me, because when the Bills score, they do the shout song, and modifies like the Bills make me want to shout in that. And in back, there's this poor drunken Patriots fan saying, the Bills make me want to puke. And I look back, the guy is like just bombed out of his mind, and I don't blame him. But I remember as a kid, it's like I might have at least gotten like upset or something, but it was a Patriots fan. And back then, it's like I felt bad. It's like, okay, no, I get it. But it's amazing how things can cycle. And then the Patriots roll up the Super Bowl wins. Buffalo goes 17 years without a playoff berth. And we're cycling again. It's
It's
I mean,
one giant cycle.
Yeah, the Bills were cruel enough to throw the game against New England at the end of this past season that cost them the #1 draft pick.
I know.
It's like, we're going to put our backups in. Oh, well, we'll put our backups in. Oh, here's our third string. Oh, wait, our quarterback's doing well enough. Here's our next quarterback.
So silly. But my point is as I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see these people on Instagram doing mashups of the quarterback that shall not be named of a certain chieftain team and the excellence of a quarterback of Tom Brady's caliber who can actually take a hit and walk away from it and be positive and not be a whiny little bitch.
Oh, I might disagree with you.
Why?
Because he could take the hit and then he gets up and go. There's no flag on the play and he runs up to the rim. Flag, 15 yards. Really?
Okay, all the clips I saw.
It's your point.
The point is that Mahomes would go up and complain like all hell, and the clips that they were showing of Brady was he just got back up and said to his guys, "Okay, that's it. Let's get him." Whatever. I'm sure there were plenty of times in Brady's time where he did go up and complain. I'm not saying he never complained. I'm just saying football back in the 20-year timeline of the Patriots dynasty versus football last year is completely different. That's all I'm meaning to say here.
Yes. No, and I agree.
Football back then.
Had to say
football, no, I know. Football back then was NFL Blitz 2000. Football today is.
Okay, that is an answer. That is an answer. You asked which series I want to see. I want to see Blitz get the NFL license and make more.
Oh God!
I want a new Blitz. I still remember what was that one quote from Blitz? Whenever you like pile drove somewhere, or something, it's like that was absolutely unnecessary, but a lot of fun to watch.
That's right. Yep.
I do miss Blitz. I will say that I used to play that a ton.
I never cared for. I like watching specifically Patriots football. If Patriots are playing anybody, I'll watch. at the time in the 90s when the Cowboys were actually winning, when they actually had winning teams, I would watch them. But Patriots or bust for me. But man, I would play the hell out of NFL Blitz. Oh god, it was so fun.
The Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots.
And
Blitz
I
I
think
played a ton of, and Tecmo Bowl.
oh, nah, that wasn't for me, but it is what it is.
Oh, it was broken to all hell. You play as the Raiders, and you take Bo Jackson. You were basically untouchable.
That's very true. Once you go Bo, you don't go back.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hang on, let me just tap the controller slightly. Oh, there's another broken tackle.
Some people view video games as something for quote-unquote children and don't view gaming as a serious art form and media that adults should consume. Who should video games be made for, in your opinion?
Everyone. And let me clarify that isn't there should be video games made for like different video games made like for different people, but there should be some games made like everybody should have access to some games made for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I realize I just kind of stumbled all over myself, but it kind of goes contrary to the argument with like Dark Souls. Or was it Dark Souls? No, Elden Ring. Where they're like, some people are like, oh, that's true. They should add a lesser difficulty, and video games should be for everyone. It's like, no. So I wanted to clarify that because it's like, no, this is the brutal game. If you want to see the story or something, fine. Wait a little while, watch it on YouTube, watch somebody else play it. Yep. This should not be like, this is what it is. But there should be video games made, and I believe there are. You get video games that are for each demographic, each age group. Whether you want to get, like with Slay the Princess, you want a deep narrative visual novel, or you want to turn around for the people that love just run and gun, Doom, what is it, Doom Medieval, I think it is, looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
That takes me back to the Heretic / Hexen days, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, there's video games should be made, like there's different video games made for everyone.
Absolutely. All right, we are now entering the Gamer Fantasy Funland. These are a series of questions that are made up, they're fictional, the answers don't matter, the points don't matter, and nothing matters in this land of the fantasy. It's all fictional. If you could own any vehicle featured in a video game, which one would it be?
Oh God. It depends on my mood. I think it would be fun going through traffic with the mammoth tank from the Command and Conquer series.
Yes.
Hey, people, beep, beep. I suggest you move.
That's right.
I suggest you move because if the tourists don't get you, I'm just going to keep driving.
Yep.
Right away goes to me.
Mm-hmm. If the tourists don't get you, the treads will.
Yeah, that. Basically, a lot of the vehicles in Carmageddon, because those were like wonderfully Mad Max.
Yep.
God, I have to see if I can think of anything else, but those are the fun ones right off the top of my head. Actually, no. Tron Light Cycle.
Yes.
It counts. There were Tron video games. But yes, those things can make 90-degree banks and leave light trails that can wipe out people behind you.
Absolutely.
I would have to have one.
Love those movies. Oh boy. All right. So I guess I have to preface this question every time now, because the whole point is that absolutely you would survive living in these worlds, but if you could live in any video game world that you wanted, where would you live? And obviously you would survive living there. You wouldn't be living there to die there, at least not right away. Like you're not going to walk through the pipe and immediately the piranha plant is going to chew you up. Like, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. That is a fascinating question. Oh, wow, yeah, that one
Stumped him, folks.
You did stump me, which is not easy to do. I mean, there's stuff oh, what is it? Like I'd say your Bethesda games, but I don't know. Like some of the, yeah, you got me. I'm trying to roll through my favorite games and all that, and it's like, because the games I play don't. Actually, maybe Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Living in Night City.
Yeah, very cool.
Not the best place to be, but I think it would be fun. Plus, it'd be fun to screw around with all the cyberware.
Yeah, that would be fun.
It's that would be a trip.
Yeah, you and Gawky could be neighbors.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you want to watch something? Well, we'll brain dance. Go ahead and like make me there. That's I think that's probably the one I'd pick. At least right off the top of my head.
Very cool, very cool. Who would be your top 3 gamer pals to join you and become a quartet? Examples that you could choose from. You don't have to choose these, but these are examples. Mario, Sonic, FemShep, Solid Snake, etc. So choose gamer characters.
Oh, let's see. Knowing me, it'd be like, who can I get into the most trouble with? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, you got me on this one too. Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of that one. So I might flip it. I might flip it on you and toss an alternate question instead.
Okay.
Picking 3 other video game characters, what would my adventuring party be?
Okay. Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends on the group because, like, I would take like Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2 as my tank.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely take Doom Guy as one of my DPS.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think you get more DPS than him. Now, the 4th one would be tougher, but yeah, that one I actually had in the back of my mind. I could probably think of better, but Chosen Undead from Dark Souls.
Oh, very cool.
Because again,
very cool.
That guy doesn't go down, so that would be my party to roll into a dungeon with.
There you go. Very cool. Very cool. All right. If you could date any video game character, which one would it be?
Oh, there have been a lot of characters I could pick from. And I think it is Isla, I think, from Chrono Trigger. That's the primitive tribal girl. That there's a charm there. There are a lot. For the people that know, Istola from Final Fantasy XIV would be one. I'm going to have like 10 other answers for this afterwards, but no, I'm just trying to even think of what else. I mean, possibly like, let's see, I'll put the Arkham, possibly. I mean, it probably wouldn't be the only bit saying this, but Harley from the Arkham series. Oh, that's right. Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. I am digging myself into trouble on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I played enough of the later ones to know exactly how much trouble I'd be in for that.
Oh, boy. That character, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, once I learned, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what's life without a little excitement.
I mean that brings a whole lot of new meaning to the term finish him.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, as long as I'm on the right side of that equation.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just don't make her mad.
That's
one of those literally happy wife, happy life.
Yep.
Minus the happy. It's like happy wife, life.
Yep.
Maybe you should play something else.
Yeah, those are the only ones I could think of right now, but I am sure there would be others.
All right. What is the holy grail of video game artifacts? Examples include the Fire Flower, the Mega Buster, Samus's gun, etc., etc.
Ooh, let's see. Other than that, I wouldn't say Samus's gun arm as much as the rollerball thing. Like, the morph ball. That's what I was looking. Because that was really like iconic and interesting. The Master Sword from Zelda.
Yep.
You know, you could say Fire Flower, but I'd say the Invincibility Star is pretty iconic. I'm trying to think. There have been a bajillion video games.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just trying to think which. I mean, we go all the way back. We could say the Pong Paddle, but we're back to beep, boop, bip type.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But, yeah, I think those are the biggest ones. I'm trying to think of the other big games out there that... Oh, how could I have forgotten? The Vampire Hunter whip from Castlevania.
Very cool, very cool.
I mean, that's been in practically every Castlevania game.
And don't forget Snake's cardboard box.
Oh. Yep.
All right, folks, final question. What is one piece of advice that you'd give the video game fandom in general?
Don't be afraid to try something new. I mean, I know that can be tough depending on prices, but if you roll through like Steam and something looks interesting, throw it on your wish list. Wait for a sale, because some of the best games I've played are ones that I took a chance on. And I can go back and everybody's going to be shocked and amazed and, oh, but for me, one of the best examples of that was Resident Evil. I didn't know the first thing about it. I was at Electronic Boutique, yes, way back, and I saw it on the shelf for the PlayStation. It had just come out. I didn't know the first thing about it. I looked on the back. I didn't know anything about that kind of genre. I don't even think there was a genre. But I decided, you know what, this looks interesting enough. What the heck? I'm going to give it a chance. And I took it home and absolutely loved it. And I could list any number of other games out there that you might not think are your jam, but just take a look. There's a billion games on Steam alone. If you find something that looks interesting, take a chance now and then. Now, granted, there's going to be some where you're like, yeah, well, that was a waste. But you might just find something, and it might even introduce you to a new genre that you wouldn't have expected. We are living in an era of so many regurgitated, recycled, upgrade the number on the box type games that sometimes you got to look outside to get something fresh and original.
All as I can think of is, so what improvements have we made with Incom OS 12? We put a 12 on the box.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it's getting depressing how many recycled titles are out there, but there are good things out there, especially like in the indie scene, and that just, you know, see what everybody else is diving into. There's enough other sources to give you an idea. You don't even necessarily have to take a chance. Go check a review on YouTube. Check a couple of those and then see if you want to take the dive. But don't be afraid to leave the AAA, here's yet another incarnation games, and try something new.
Exactly. And don't forget, folks, NFL Blitz 2000 will always be there.
Oh, yes.
Boom shakalaka. I love that guy.
I mean, you might have gotten a touchdown, but I got about 3 elbow drops on you afterwards.
That's right.
It's a fair victory, but I'll take it nonetheless.
That's right. All right, folks, we're going to go to a quick ad break. You're going to hear some podcast ads and some other stuff. You're also going to hear how you can join the Gamer Origins and answer the questions. You're going to hear the lovely The Chaos Queen give you all that information. Right after this, we'll be back to close the show with the Red Knight in a moment.
Chat, I am concerned.
You know what I'm going to do?
Pay no attention to the uh-oh screams coming out of, what did you do?
I made breadcrumbs.
Why?
Because I can.
Good God.
Hi, I'm Gorky. Let's play. Visit my YouTube channel to check out all the good stuff that I'm doing. I've got Cyberpunk videos. I've got Outlast trial videos. I've got Power World, Avowed. Several things going on. And I do a selection of commentary and no commentary streams and videos. Sometimes you just want to enjoy a game and see how it goes. So if that sounds interesting to you, go check me out at youtube.com/@Gorky Let's Play.
Are you in need of what the heck did I just listen to? Are you in need of a laugh at the expense of the internet? Boy, do I have a treat for you. Here at Lyrically Audacious, we turn just about anything into music. Visit us now at youtube.com/@symbol, Lyrically Audacious, all one word. So swing by, have a laugh. Stay lyrical, stay audacious, here at Lyrically Audacious.
Do you know John Hyatt songs?
Maybe you know them from being covered by Roseanne Cash, Three Dog Night, the Neville Brothers, Emmylou Harris, Eric Clapton, B.B. King, Jeff Healey, Bonnie Raitt, or literally hundreds of others.
Maybe you have some of his albums on your shelf, or in your cow-horned Cadillac right now.
I'm Jesse Jackson.
And I'm Sylvan Groff.
And we're going to dive in from A to Z. Join us on the Perfectly Good Podcast.
We're going to discuss all of your favorites and uncover some forgotten gems, from Aces Up Your Sleeve to Zero House.
Rate and debate every John Hyatt song on the Perfectly Good Podcast. Have a little faith.
Hi, welcome to Up Nerd. What is Up Nerd? Up Nerd is a podcasting network of shows hosted by me, The Uneven Flow. People have told me I like to talk at them about a pretty wide range of topics: comics, games, movies, books, whatever. And now I'll be able to talk at you. Along with the weekly show will be 2 bi-weekly shows. First we have Find You Pick, a show where one host picks a movie, then both hosts have to watch it. Then the next episode, the other host picks the movie. Each show will have a breakdown of why it is that movie was picked by that host, after which will be a discussion about what it is we just watched. Lastly, we have the show Top 3, Bottom 3. Similarly to Find You Pick, one host picks a television series, and the next week, the pick alternates to the other host. Here, the episodes of the show are chosen by the top 3 episodes and the bottom 3 episodes, as rated on imdb.com. Yes, this is probably the worst way to watch and review a television show, and yes, that's the idea. On our shows, I'll detail out how you can suggest things for us to watch. You can reach out and talk with the hosts, and maybe even appear on an episode. I hope you'll join me for this exciting new podcast adventure. I swear we're going to make it more than 8 episodes.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk...
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download this show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
That's right, stare at the wiener. You can't eat it until I take your order.
Would you like to be on the Origins episodes here at Studio 2009? Send an email to feedback@geekcastradio.com with the subject line Gamer Origins Guest Spot. You must have 1 year or more of podcast experience, have a good mic, and be on Skype or Discord.
Edit point.
We are...
Oh, that was spectacular!
All right, folks, we are back here inside Studio 2009, only on the Geekcast Radio Network, and this has been episode 130. Holy crap. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Megatron and I launched this podcast June 2nd, 2020. Yes, we launched it in the middle of the pandemic when everyone and their uncle finally basically found podcasting because no one could leave their homes, obviously, at the time. But we launched Studio 2009 June 2nd, 2020, as I said. So in 5.5 years, 6.5 years, however many years that's been, 140 episodes. We are on our way to 200. We got 60 episodes to go. And over the next 11 episodes, we've got an 11-episode arc dedicated to going fast. And no, there are not 11 Sonic movies yet.
Yet.
Yes, there are only 3, and we've already covered them. But my buddy Sean, an old friend of mine, he is a gearhead. He is a car guy. I am kind of sort of a car guy. My dad has been a mechanic all of his life and everything else, so we are going to be going through and reviewing all 11 Fast Saga films from the Fast and the Furious. So that's what's coming up here on the podcast. Red, anything you would like to say before I run through the closing that we run through?
Well, just thank you for having me. It was wonderful going with the back and forth and drudging up all kinds of memories because, I mean, my mind may hold a lot of things, but the file cabinets aren't exactly sorted, and I think the card catalog burned it down a couple of years ago, so thank you for helping me bring back some good memories and to allow me to rant a little bit about the state of current video games as well. It was a blast.
Absolutely. That's all I ever want when anyone comes on to do any of the episodes, whether it's Origins or other topics or whatever, as long as everybody has fun. That's podcasters. Yeah. We all just want to have fun, to steal a line from a different song that is not podcasters, But, yeah, so that's that. So like I said, folks, next 11 episodes, all about the Fast films. You already heard how to get a hold of us to come on for Gamer Origins from the Chaos Queen. She gave you that information during the break. As always, gamers, we want to thank you for joining us here at Studio 2009. If you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to or comment on all of our content. You can also check out shop.geekcastradio.com and buy all of our stuff. We have t-shirts up to 4XL. We have gamer mats and other things for gamers. We've got mugs. We've got mouse pads, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head. Steve Megatron runs the store, so I don't know what he's added at this point in time. You can send us feedback. Wow. You can send an email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on any of the podcatching clients you choose to use. You can follow us on Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter. I don't care what that moron calls it now. Can we just X him out, please? What a technocrat. Anyway, Geekcast Radio for the network at It's Studio 2009, all one word for the show. I am at TF2 and Mike. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. You can also check out Studio 2009 podcast over there as well. Join us next time. As I mentioned, we will be kicking off the Fast Film Saga with episode 141, Fast Saga Part 1, The Fast and the Furious from 2001. For now, I am TF2 and Mike with
the Bread Knight, or Red Knight.
We need more played up streams, Chaos. I know she's going through. I know. Thank you for listening. You'll hear us back in the studio soon.
Are you having meat problems?
Yes, I am. Oh, love you, Mike. Thank you.
See you, Mike.
What's your favorite part about It Takes Two?
Just the absolute chaos that occurs when trying to get people working together, and then the resultant frustration when they don't.
Okay.
Yeah, gosh, I told you to go this way. You're supposed to go that way. Why didn't you go this way? That kind of stuff. It amuses me.
I don't know, Mike. I'm guessing she hasn't seen it yet.
What haven't I seen? What haven't I seen? Oh my goodness!
I was just doing a little countdown in my head.
Oh! My word, sir!
You are talking about a refined, prim and proper lady.
A refined? A refined is right. Can we go?
It's kind of like refined and refried.
Yeah, right. You're talking to a refried lady here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's I, TFU, and Mike from the Geekcast Radio Network of Podcasts. This is the year 2009, episode 130. I know there were a couple of moments in the outro there that I called it episode 140. I don't know if there were moments in this actual episode where I called it 140, but actually it is now 130. Originally, the Red Knights Gamer Origins episode was going to be 140, but I moved the schedule around between the time we recorded it and the time it is being released, and other things have been recorded and are scheduled to be released. However, here's the thing. The Fast and the Furious Saga 11-episode arc is still happening. My buddy Sean, old schools, he and I, longtime friends, we did the Ford and the Ferrari. The Ford versus Ferrari episode. He will be coming back, and we will be doing those, the Fast Saga films. He will be doing those episode 141 to 149, 151, somewhere around there, because I have a special thing planned for episode 150 that I'm not revealing just yet. But if you have heard me talk about the origins and the next phase of the GCRN origins, you know, click, 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 change the channel. But I wanted to give you all what the real plan is from episode 131 to 141. So here's the thing, folks. We've already recorded all of this. Thank God. I just have to now edit all of it, which is fine. But episode 130, as you just heard, Gamer Origins, The Red Knight, awesome dude. Absolutely love him. So cool. 131 to 138 is Columbo Season 2, The Columbo Files. Dave Draper and I return, and we talk about the 8 episodes that make up Columbo Season 2 here inside Studio 2009's The Columbo Files. So that's what's going to happen from episode 131 to 138. Episode 139, Steve Megatron is going to return, and we are going to talk about Season 1 of Shifting Gears, Tim Allen's new comedy series. So that's going to happen then. And then, as I said a moment ago, from episode 141 to around 151-ish or so, my buddy Sean will be covering the Fast Saga, all 11 films with me. And that's the plan for Studio 2009 going forward over the next couple of months. So that's what's coming up. And yeah, folks, catch you next time, only on the Geekcast Radio Network.